So the Chicago Bears just made a flurry of roster moves. And let's be honest, this team is a little more than banged up. It's totally necessary. And GM Ryan Poles, he's working really hard to fill some of the resulting needs. We're looking at it as a team, four guys in the secondary dealing with injuries. And today the Bears brought up safety Tarvarius Moore to the active roster. And GM Ryan Poles, he has given us a practice squad that's been deep, it's been talented, and now it's time to call upon it to fill some of these holes, right? And then also earlier today, the Chicago Bears signed cornerback Amir Speed to the active roster, also from the practice squad. And then in a corresponding move, they signed, you've heard of him, he's been on this team before, running back Darrington Evans. So if we're looking at Speed, he takes a roster spot of the recently traded Khalil Herbert. That gives them 7 cornerbacks on the current 53-man roster. And Speed's presence on the roster, it absolutely might be necessary. He actually might get on the field with a lot of playing time because we have injuries to backups Terrell Smith and Jalen Jones. They're both battling injuries. But kind of a little more on Jones. He has a shoulder injury, Smith an ankle injury. Jones hasn't practiced. Smith practiced only on a limited basis. And now we're looking at Speed. He comes out at 6'3", 215 pounds as a corner. He was in one game this season already for the Bears, and he's played 8 games last year for the Colts and 5 for the Patriots in his first NFL season. So essentially, this week becomes a chance for Speed to face his old team. And throughout his career, he's made 9 career tackles. So kind of some moves were needed here because with cornerback Jalen Jones, once again, with this injury, it looks like he's heading to injured reserve. And this isn't good news. He was removed early from the Bears' Week 9 loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Shoulder injury. It's just too bad because Jones has been a fantastic special teams player. So the Bears put Jones on IR. They clean up a roster spot, and it fully makes sense to add more defensive back help to this depth chart. And on top of that, there's still no word on the return of concussed Jaquan Brisker. So in reaction to all this, once again, Tarvarius Moore, he's brought up. And the Bears also signed safety JT Woods. And this is more than a blip. This is a player I'm going to profile. He's got a lot of potential. I'm going to break it down in just a minute. So stay here. Quite a few moves. And let's kind of look at Darrington Evans. He's a familiar face in Chicago, right? This will be, I think it's his 3rd cup of coffee with us. He was just released from injured reserve last week from Buffalo. He actually spent 6 games on the 53 in 2022 for the Bears, and then 5 games last year. And that's after the rash of injuries at running back that we went through. And this rash of injuries, that memory, that's yet one more reason why I don't love the Khalil Herbert trade. But Evans, he's been a decent back in the times that he's been called on for multiple teams. And we have even more insurance now, just in case, along with running back Travis Homer. So GM Ryan Poles, he recognizes that we need a little more depth at running back, and he just gave us more today. Then we're looking at Eberflus. He said that safety Jaquan Brisker, he's unlikely to play against the New England Patriots, and that's obviously he's still in the concussion protocol. So with that, let's look at who JT Woods is, how he might end up being a significant addition, and he's going to start his career here with Chicago on the practice squad. And I'm going to go here to Bleacher Nation. JT Woods is a 3rd-round pick in 2022 out of Baylor. He was drafted in the 3rd round. He started 1 game. He's appeared in 13 games total in his career. And this guy could help fill the absence of Jalen Jones as well because he's great on special teams. His rookie year, he played 73 snaps on special teams, and that includes 31 on defense over 10 games. And to boot, this guy has great speed. He ran a 4.3640 at the combine. He has the turnover skill that Coach Flus absolutely loves in his defensive scheme because in the final 2 years of his college career, the guy had 9 picks. And he also had a reputation for just being really hard-nosed, just a hard-hitting guy in the secondary. And from the story on Bleacher Nation, I just want to share you a snippet of his draft profile here. He's not a finished product, but this will kind of give you an idea of who he was looked at as in college. So I'm just going to read from it. Long levered safety with excellent top end speed, the potential to become a rangy playmaker if he can learn to play with better overall discipline. Too many busted assignments to be trusted in single high alignments, but offers teams the coverage versatility to be deployed in a variety of spots. He's got to play with better decisiveness, but he has the length, he has the burst, he has the striking power to impact catch tries and take the ball away. Coach Flus loves that. Wood's tools are likely to make him a day 2 pick, but he'll need to prove that his run support and tackle finishing are on a functional level for the pro game. So I'm just talking through this guy because he's an interesting player. He's still young at 24 years old. I'm going to get rid of this window. Still only 24 years old. In this edition, it's most likely insurance. Brisker, he's been out since week 5. And he's not even resuming football activity yet. And that's really concerning. He's had multiple concussions during his career. And it's just really concerning for his general health. And that goes beyond football. Let's pray for him. Let's pray that he heals up and that he can move on from this. It is a brain injury, so it's got to be taken seriously. Just get healthy, Jaquan. And then we're looking at for the team. For now, the Bears added some really good players to the practice squad. They elevated one in Amir Speed and another in Tarvarius Moore. And then let's kind of finish up. Let's go into some injury news. So we're looking at starting offensive tackles Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright. They set out practice Wednesday due to knee injuries, but the Bears are hopeful that one or both will be able to play versus New England. Man, wouldn't that be great, huh? We're optimistic about both. This is from Coach Eberflus. We'll see where it goes. I don't know right now. We've got to see how they work through it today and then going into tomorrow, but hopefully we'll get at least one of those guys back. Then we're looking at also tackle Karan Amagaji with the calf, cornerback Jalen Jones. We talked about him. Karan didn't practice. Defensive ends Montez Sweat, Daryl Taylor, both with a shin and knee, respectively. Nickelback Kyler Gordon, linebacker Noah Sewell with a knee. Kyler Gordon is still dealing with that hamstring injury. And then you've got previously mentioned quarterback Terrell Smith with an ankle. All these guys were limited. Hopefully we will get most of these guys back. It would just be fantastic to be able to face New England with most of our offensive line back intact, our secondary put back together. And it looks like we're really close to doing that, especially if Kyler Gordon is able to play. Then we're just missing Brisker. And we've got a lot of guys that can sub in for that. That is not an insurmountable issue. Get Montez Sweat back. That'll fix up the pass rush. And we actually might be looking at being once again a formidable defensive presence against New England. And and if this offensive line is put back together, the Bears could be looking at a victory against New England. And everybody's just got to chill out. They got to catch their breath here a little bit. You've got teams like, and I'm not comparing, but you've got teams like San Francisco. I believe they're 4-4. You've got a team like Tampa Bay. They're 5-4. You've got a lot of other teams that are in a similar spot as far as record, as far as where the Chicago Bears are. I know there's been a ton of turmoil, but if Flus can actually handle a game correctly, I think he's capable of that. We get some of these players back from injury. Offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, he actually adopts a game plan against New England, especially with this offensive line where it's in. I mean, bring in a couple tight ends, actually use Cole Kmet as a major weapon in this offense. It makes no sense that he got 0 catches last year. Not last year, but last week. You guys know what I'm saying. And just incorporate these players properly. Come up with a good game plan. Stack one more win. Go into this other part of the season with a winning record. And you know what? We came into the season in a similar place. About midway through the season, the Bears were able to bring things together, kick it into high gear. Maybe some of this in-house stuff can stay in-house, and we can see if we can go on a run here. Not insurmountable the second half of the year. I'm not ready to throw in the towel. I know a lot of you guys are. But this win against New England, this could heal a lot of woes that we have. And then we can go into the Green Bay game relatively healthy. And who knows what could happen? I mean, who knows? But so far, it can only get better from here. We have got some reinforcements in to cover some of these injury difficulties, and you guys bear down. Let's be optimistic coming into this New England game. Shut out all of this noise, bear down, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.